If you've ever felt completely buried by a massive backlog of tasks, believe me, you are not alone. Today, we're diving into an explainer on what is basically the silent killer of productivity. We're talking about priority inflation. You know the exact feeling, right? It's when absolutely everything feels like a five-alarm fire. When every single item on your plate gets slapped with a top priority label, the whole system just breaks down. And kind of paradoxically, way less actually gets done. So we're going to walk through this really fascinating case study that perfectly illustrates the absolute chaos of inflated priorities and, more importantly, the incredible clarity you get when you introduce true precision into maintenance scheduling. Seriously, think about your own day-to-day workflow for a second. What actually happens when every single task gets labeled an emergency? Well, the word urgent completely loses its meaning, and we just end up with these massive workflow bottlenecks. You've got supervisors who become totally paralyzed, frontline workers getting interrupted constantly, and proactive work completely abandoned, all just to put out daily fires. It creates this frantic culture of reaction instead of a culture of planning. To figure out exactly how to fix this, we're going to look at some hard data from a plant's maintenance department where this exact scenario plays out and the stakes are incredibly high. Okay, let's lay down the ground rules. Every good system needs a baseline framework, and this plant operates on a super strict 0 to 4 priority scale. It's pretty straightforward. 0 is an absolute, drop-everything emergency. 1 is urgent, 2 is serious, and then it scales down to 3 and 4 for non-critical maintenance. This scale, it is the law of the land. It's designed to dictate exactly what gets done and exactly when. But, as we're about to see, a system is literally only as good as the discipline of the people actually using it. So let's jump into our first scenario, which the source material very aptly titles, Not This Way. Enter Mike. Mike is an operator, he's just wrapped up his rounds, and he's writing up work orders for a few problems he noticed around the plant. Now, the reality is, most of the problems Mike found aren't actually that serious yet. But Mike has this very relatable, very human impulse. He wants to make absolutely sure maintenance doesn't ignore his requests. So, to guarantee they get noticed, he decides to kind of game the system. He slaps a priority 1 on the most important stuff and a priority 2 on literally everything else, completely bypassing levels 3 and 4. Wow, the downstream consequence of Mike's little shortcut is fascinating. Because of this artificial priority inflation, nearly all the jobs in the entire maintenance backlog are now sitting there as 1s and 2s. Suddenly, every little thing is urgent or serious. And guess where this lands? Squarely on the desk of Abby, the crew supervisor. It's Abby's job to figure out what maintenance should tackle the very next day. But facing this deeply bloated, completely skewed backlog, she is functionally paralyzed. Where do you even start? So what does Abby do? 12. She is forced to select 12 priority 1 jobs completely at random just to give her team something to do tomorrow. Just think about the absurdity of that for a second. She has a stack of supposedly urgent jobs, and because there are just so many of them, she literally has to guess which ones are actually the most pressing. The priority system has completely failed her here. She's essentially throwing darts at a board blindfolded just to build her daily schedule. And the very next morning, the chaos just compounds. Right at the start of the shift, the plant manager marches in and demands Abby immediately assign technicians to fix a dripping flange. Now hold on, note the detail here. It's on a backup feed pump. It is definitely not an emergency. But because everything is a fire drill in this specific culture, Abby is forced to pivot immediately. She literally has to interrupt 2 of her technicians who are already deep into one of those randomly selected priority 1 jobs. This perfectly illustrates the agonizing butterfly effect of reactive maintenance. Let's break this down. First, the techs have to hastily pack up their ongoing priority 1 job, just to leave it safe. Second, they rush over to this dripping flange, only to end up just standing around waiting for the operations group to clear the pump. Third, because none of this was planned, they have to physically run around the plant scavenging for the right gasket material. By the time they finally replace the gasket and stop the leak, their entire day's gone. Poof! A completely unplanned, non-emergency issue just derailed 2 skilled technicians and left a supposedly urgent job sitting half-finished. All right, let's take a breath and reset the board here. We've seen the absolute disaster of priority inflation, but what actually happens when a team follows the rules? Let's pivot to the alternate reality, the scenario called This Way. We're going to compare Mike's disastrous first attempt with a disciplined, highly accurate approach. Before, we had the chaos of a heavily skewed backlog. Now we're going to see the magic that happens when a team embraces an honest mix of priorities 1 through 4, enabling absolute precision. So in this successful scenario, Mike finishes his rounds again, but this time he follows the rules to the letter. And the difference? It is night and day. Most of the problems still aren't serious, so he honestly assigns them a priority of 3 or 4. He does find a couple of genuinely serious problems, and he gives those a 2. But here's the kicker. The discipline doesn't just stop with Mike. His supervisor then reviews these work orders and provides a second layer of calibration. The supervisor actually adjusts those 2 priority 2s, upgrading one to a priority 1 and downgrading the other to a priority 3. This is what active, honest management looks like. And the crucial result of all this honesty? A totally healthy, balanced backlog. Because the rules were actually followed, the backlog now has a true, realistic variety of priorities ranging from 1 to 4. When Abby sits down to plan the next day this time, it is incredibly easy. No guessing, no random dart growing. She is able to intentionally and systematically select all 5 of the priority 1 jobs, all 5 of the priority 2s, and she even has room to pull in 2 of the priority 3 jobs. It's perfectly optimized. But wait, the true test arrives. The exact same scenario from yesterday happens again. First thing the next day, the plant manager notices that same dripping flange on the backup feed pump. But in this new, disciplined culture, the manager doesn't burst in demanding a drop everything fix. Instead, the plant manager writes it up correctly as a priority 2 work order and simply hands it to Abby's crew. It is serious, yes, but it is absolutely not a 0-level emergency. Now watch how this builds into a beautifully harmonious workflow. Because that flange is an honest priority 2, nobody gets interrupted. On day 1, the planning department actually has the time to go ahead, plan the job out, and stage the gasket material in advance. That means 0 scavenging. Abby knows a backup pump can wait, so she presumes she'll just schedule the flange job for the following week. Or, hey, she might even get to it later this week, but only if her crew successfully finishes their currently scheduled work early, which, brilliantly, includes those proactive priority 3 and 4 jobs. Bringing this all together, the benefits of this kind of precision scheduling are just staggering. And honestly, they apply whether you're running a massive industrial plant or just trying to manage your own chaotic inbox. By simply being honest about what is truly urgent, we completely avoid interrupting people on their active jobs. It lets the planners actually plan, sourcing parts and staging materials, so nobody wastes hours scavenging. Critically, it guarantees that proactive, lower priority work actually gets done, which stops future emergencies from happening in the first place. And finally, it completely cures that crushing scheduling paralysis for supervisors. I want to leave you with this final, really provocative thought. Does true productivity actually require the discipline to admit a task isn't important right now? As we've seen from this incredible source material, the answer is a resounding yes. When we inflate priorities just to make ourselves feel productive, we are actively destroying our capacity to get meaningful work done. Precision in scheduling isn't just about organizing a to-do list. It's about having the professional courage to look at a problem and say, you know what, this can wait. Take a hard look at your own backlog today. Are you inflating your priorities? Thanks so much for joining this explainer, and we'll see you next time.